Here we have a question. It says, given that 6.9 moles of carbon monoxide gas are present in a container, so there's given us some information, so we have, just maybe write that down, 6.9 moles of carbon monoxide, or carbon with one oxygen, in a container with a volume of 30.4 liters. What is the pressure of the gas if the temperature is 82 degrees Celsius? So when we're dealing with a gas, your first instinct should be probably to use the ideal gas law. So what we're looking for is, what do we have? Well, we have moles, we have volume, we have temperature, and what do we want? We want pressure. So that is perfect because we have everything we need to plug into the ideal gas law and solve for pressure. We do need to recognize that because R is 0.08206 liter atmospheres per mole Kelvin, that when we plug in the volume, it's got to be in liters. When we plug in temperature, it has to be in Kelvin. And when we plug in pressure, it has to be in atmospheres. So if we're given information that doesn't have those units, we have to do some conversions first before we can use this value for R in the ideal gas law. So if we have Celsius temperature, we need to add 273.15 to get that to Kelvin. So that's going to be 355 Kelvin. So now I can use Pivnert and solve for the pressure that I want to get and plug in the moles times R times the temperature and divide by the volume. So I'd like to do that showing my units to make sure everything actually does cancel. 6.9 moles of gas times R, which is liters, atmospheres per mole Kelvin, times the temperature, 355 Kelvin. You know, if you forgot to do this step in the beginning, once you start plugging into the ideal gas law, if you keep your units in there and write them down, you'll see that they're not canceling properly. Right? When I calculate pressure, I don't want it to be atmosphere Celsius per Kelvin. That doesn't make sense. I want it to be atmospheres. I want all the other units to cancel. If I'm solving for pressure, I need my answer just to have pressure units. So I also need to divide by the volume here. Keeping the units in my calculation also helps me to see if I maybe made a mistake and divided by something when I should have multiplied. Because, you know, if I multiplied by mistake, if I mistakenly put this 30.4 liters on top or something, then I would see when I have liters and I multiply by liters, they're not going to cancel. I'm going to end up with liters squared, right? So that's not going to work. So I don't want that. I want to put the 30.4 liters on the bottom so that the liters cancel, the moles cancel, and the kelvins cancel. And the only thing I have left with is the unit I want for pressure. So then I just plug in 6.9 times 0.08206 times 355 divided by 30.4, and I get 6 point. So I'm limited to 2 sig figs by the 6.9, so I just have 6.6 atmospheres.